Homelander has centered his entire sense of self around power. It's the only thing he can replace love with. His narcissism refuses to accept any other reality to the point of delusion, the kind that turns into uncontrollable rage, hallucinations, and a complete psychological breakdown. However, there is a solution. Godhood. The answer to Homelander's insatiable desire for validation, the ultimate symbol of superiority. Pure, clean, like marble. Part of the human condition is to want more. Whether it's possessions, cravings, or an ideal, we build our lives around some sort of pursuit. For Homelander, he spent his most formative years as an experiment, devoid of any true human connection, something we take for granted, but he could never quite achieve. Instead, Homelander was programmed. You're the strongest, a champion. No one can stand up to your greatness. That conditioning created his narcissism, a cold, empty vacuum of ego constantly seeking respect, validation, and worship. Homelander is nothing outside of this. This is Arthur Schopenhauer's problem of desire, a hunger that only grows the more you feed it. And after years of humiliation and betrayal despite his superiority, Homelander has found a true solution. V1. The single key to godhood. The promise of immortality. The final proof that he is truly above everyone else. After all this humiliation, Homelander now has the one thing he needs to tame his endless desire for power. At least for a period. The Greek hero Hercules took the offer of divinity. After a life of brutality and hardship for the gods, he was given the ultimate reward of godhood, ascending him to a state of higher being. But in reality, godhood wasn't fulfillment. Hercules was trapped with himself for eternity. God or not, the insecurity, the doubts, his humanity, it was all still there. While Homelander's strength is comparable to Hercules, he's a different case entirely. Homelander grew up isolated. How can a child understand their humanity when they're raised in a cell, tortured, experimented on? All Homelander knows is that he is the strongest, the Messiah, the one true hero. Any kind of human connection, love, it just gets in the way of what truly matters. That feeling of superiority, when you know somebody truly believes they are lesser than you. At least, that's what Homelander tells himself. Let's assume the V1 works with no complications. Homelander is now all-powerful. His already impressive abilities have only been enhanced. He's faster, stronger, and most importantly, he's no longer aging. Time, the one thing that truly could have stopped Homelander, is no longer an obstacle. From his perspective, it makes sense to think that the V1 is the answer to his problems. He is no longer simply a man with the power of a god. He now has the lifespan of one. The angel was right. Homelander was destined to ascend, and the non-believers will pay. But we've seen Homelander's psyche, his emotional volatility, the person behind the cape. In the end, it truly doesn't matter if the boys can't stop Homelander, if he takes over the world and kills the billions who don't accept him as their new god. Whether it was stepping on the head of a terrorist or gaining control over Vought, we've seen that power is only a temporary fix for Homelander's desire. A tiny hit of validation that will never come close to filling a psychological wound left by his years in the lab. Becoming an all-powerful, immortal being won't force the world to validate his superiority. And Homelander is unable to comprehend this. A childhood of isolation left him with no ability to connect with others, and no understanding of any perspective beyond his own selfish desires. V1 isn't the answer. It never was. Homelander is already broken mentally. His delusions of grandeur are at an all-time high. But once he realizes that emptiness is still there, even after achieving every goal and fulfilling the destiny promised to him, what follows will be horrifying. It's hard to imagine how Homelander could be stopped at this point. It's been proven that Soldier Boy can fry the Compound V out of anyone, but there's still a small part of him that cares for his son. He was the one who handed Homelander the V1, saying it's what Stormfront would have wanted. And now, Homelander's psychological state will only continue to worsen. His increased power will fuel his narcissism, his immortality will intensify his delusions. And when Homelander has that inevitable realization that V1 hasn't fulfilled his endless desire, when he finally understands there is no solution to his emptiness, that is the moment his self truly comes crumbling down.